we would like to welcome you to the first ever Ball Out NBA podcast, baby.
Yes, sir. It's about time.
Yes, sir. I am your co-host, Chris Bullock, and my man on the other side of America, I'm going to let him speak.
I'm going to go by the name of R.J. Saunders, representing Los Angeles, California, but out here in Florida. With my man Chris Bullock, man, this takes us back when we was talking about basketball, years ago when we first met.
For real, man. And obviously, first time I saw you, you were wearing your Kobe 24, and, I had to rib you a little bit being a Clippers fan.
Man, I'm just glad that the Lakers were able to get a nice win tonight. At the expense of your Clippers, man, but good to restart off strong, even though it was very sloppy. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yes, but first things first, let's give props where props are due to the NBA and Adam Silver, obviously, for recognizing in the midst of this pandemic, hey, if we're going to get out here, we need to do this safe and we need to do this right. I don't care how long it takes. And, they're in the hotbed right now. They're in your part of the woods, aren't they?
They're 2 hours down, traveling down to I-4 down there in Orlando. But great job by Adam Silver and the guys. To go to a bubble-type format and make sure that everybody was going to be safe. You've had a couple people, a certain bench player of yours, not really follow the rules coming out.
Man.
But, man, for a lot of these guys to, for the NBA to be taking tests and for nobody to really, come back with any positive tests, Adam Silver and the crew of the NBA really did a good job on this one and really took their time. And I think that they're probably going to be the blueprint for a lot of these other leagues, coming up in the near future.
I'm looking at specifically the MLB right now. As you already heard what happened.
Man, that was a crazy thing in and of itself, man. You would have thought that they would have gone to a bubble format. But I think a lot of the other leagues like the NFL and like the MLB kind of started late. And by the time now that they're thinking of going to a bubble format, it's kind of like, well, we're too late in the game. The season's about to start. So we just got to go with what we first initially thought of. And as you can see, it's not the most ideal and not the best turnout for the MLB. Hopefully the NFL will be different, but the NBA has done a phenomenal job as always. So Adam Silver, once again, man, good job. And we got some great basketball tonight.
Yeah, yes, we did. But as we mentioned, the Clippers and Lakers, for those of y'all who don't know, the Lakers came back after a little bit of a weak start to the fourth quarter, came back to win 103-101. Much props to your man, AD, the unibrow, with 30 points. He led the squad, man.
He really did lead the squad. And I'm glad that you have a guy like AD that's able to do this for the LA Lakers. Revisionist history, though, I'm not the most proud of the Lakers' strategy with going to just dumping it inside to AD. I understand that AD is a problem, and nobody in the entire league can stop Anthony Davis when he's on a roll like he was tonight. And I get that, and I'm glad he's on my Lakers. But I don't like when the Lakers try to go to this, let's just dump it down to him and let's just ISO. I don't think that's what the Lakers need to do. They tried that the first game of the regular season, and it didn't work out. And you saw the game before we went into this quarantine and had this whole pandemic, when the Lakers were able to swing and get better ball movement and get many more guys involved, you had a much different game. But Anthony Davis definitely won them this game. LeBron James was phenomenal. He didn't have a great shooting night, though, but a near triple-double once again.
Yeah.
But the Lakers playing this way, even though you got the W, you only won by 2. So, and it's with a Clippers team, your Clippers team, no less, that had 22 turnovers. 22 turnovers, and you only win by 2.
And only 24 points in the paint.
And only 24 points in the paint, and with no Montrezl Harrell, no Lou Williams, your bench only gave you 31 points as the Clippers team. For that to happen for the LA Lakers, I don't know if this would be the Los Angeles Clippers team, 1, at full strength, but 2, 4 times in a 7-game series. That's just me, but I'm looking too far into the future. I'm going to celebrate this win right now.
Yeah, man. Just take it while you got it. You guys tied the season series. Congrats. We still don't have a definitive winner and who the best team in LA is yet. And I know you and I talked about this at the beginning of the season because it was starting to look like they were going to be 1-2, and then obviously, it ain't worked out that way so far. But
Right.
hey, man, we got some great games out of it. Speaking of the Clippers bench, man, I understand them wings are magic. I can't be mad at Lou Will. I really can't because I've heard nothing but great things about the Magic City food. But was it worth 10 days of quarantine though, man? The one game we needed him and he ain't there.
You would have thought that, maybe later on down the line, maybe if the Clippers were able to win an NBA championship, let's go to Magic City. But, NBA guys is going to do what they want to do. This is nothing different, but I think it cost the Clippers because when you look at in the third quarter, the Clippers to begin the third went on a 14-1 run, led by Paul George, who had 3 straight threes. Well, not 3 straight threes, but he had 3 threes in that sequence. Calls timeout. Paul George goes to the bench. Kawhi also goes to the bench. Who's normally filling that spot? Normally 2 guys. Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. You had neither of them in this game. So when you're leaving everything up to chance with guys like JaMychal Green, Patrick Beverley, Landry Shamet, who those 2 guys that I just named, Landry Shamet and Patrick Beverley, really haven't played all that much in the scrimmages, nor have had the practices since we've gone to this bubble format. So you're relying on them when normally in that role, when you have Kawhi and Paul George go to the bench, Lou Williams is normally taking that spot. And that's why I'm saying with the Lakers, you may have caught lightning in the bottle. A win's a win, is a win is a win. However, if Lou Williams is in that game with the 14-1 run that the Clippers had and Paul George goes to the bench, I don't know. You may be looking at a 21-5 run because you saw the turnaround with the Lakers. The Lakers answered that run with a 17-5 run. I think it changes with Lou Williams in that game.
We mentioned earlier, he's averaging 18 points a game about. So, that right there, that 2-point advantage gets negated if he's in there. And if he's playing half as good as he normally can, the Clippers walk out of this game easy with a win. Now, granted, that being said, we're going to skip off Lou Will for a sec because I ain't trying to slam on him the whole time. I respect why he was out. I'm going to go to Kawhi for a second because he was a little sluggish to start the game. Second quarter, he became super Kawhi, as we know to do. But obviously, with this being now a shortened season going to the finals, we know Kawhi's injury history, or at least his history of having load management. Is he going to be able to sustain that right now? And can the Clippers afford for him to do that right now?
Everybody got the same 4 months off. That's how I'm kind of labeling this. LeBron got the same 4 months off as Anthony Davis did. Anthony Davis got the same 4 months off as Paul George. Paul George got the same 4 months off as Kawhi Leonard. Now, Kawhi Leonard knees, I think they say he's always had knee troubles. Kawhi has.
Yep, going back to San Diego State.
So, you may want to be cautious. However, a lot of sloppy play, and there still seems to be a lot of rust. You did have the 3 scrimmage games, but Kawhi didn't even look good in those. I don't know if Kawhi needs to rest. Maybe you manage his minutes a lot more, and then come the playoff push, you say, okay, let's go all in. But if I'm saying we have 8 games, you're going to sit out for 4, and he looked the way he did then, listen, these are NBA guys. They take care of themselves all the time. But let's just call it like it was. None of these guys were spectacular until late in the game. And a lot of these guys got their second win. But if I'm Kawhi, I'm sitting at this point when I just got 4 months off.
Yeah, you gotta wonder.
I'm not doing it.
Well, you also mentioned earlier about the ring rust because, again, 4 months off. You're only asking for 3 scrimmages. That's a little bit too soon to be asking these guys to be in game shape after 4 months off of basically having to stay in your house.
Right. Listen, air don't hit back, in the words of Charles Barkley. So I
Yeah.
mean, I need to start getting some bodies on these guys,
Big
man. I
Charles,
mean,
man.
listen, I don't know if the Los Angeles Clippers are going to catch my LA Lakers. I just don't know when it comes to the number 1 seed in the West. But if I'm the Clippers, I'm worried about, I don't want to get down to the 4 seed and may have to play, let's say, Houston in the 7-game series. And if you beat Houston, then you got to play the Lakers in the second round. I really don't want to do that. And if I'm Kawhi Leonard, I want to be at my best. I don't think the game he played tonight was his best. I don't think it was for LeBron. I think the best player out on the floor was Anthony Davis by far. He was the best player out on the floor. However, if I'm guys like Kawhi, if I'm guys like LeBron, I need to get this rust off. I don't know if I really need to be resting or anything, because these 8 games are going to go by like this, and you're going to be right into the playoffs. Rest? I don't know. This isn't game 72 and we're hitting the game 81. These 8 games, these are going to fly by.
Very true. Speaking of your man Anthony Davis being the best man on the floor, is he going to be the best man for the Lakers going forwards? I mean, it's something I was thinking about. He is not publicly committed to staying in LA past this season, and you kind of have to think, is this all going to depend on whether they win the championship or not? Like, what does this do? The Lakers right now are the hottest team in the league. Going into the pandemic, we all knew that. But
Right.
if they don't win this chip, man, like LeBron's in year 17, his body's already shown signs of breaking down last year. This year, he's kind of gotten lucky, bless his soul. But,
Right.
I mean, if I'm the Lakers, it's like we're only going to have 2 of the top 5 players in the league, maybe for 2 years at best. And we've got Anthony Davis on a player option, which means he could just easily skip out and leave.
He could. And I do think that Anthony Davis, I won't say he's thinking about it, but I do think he wants to be placed in a ready-made situation. I mean, we've heard him say, I may think about going home to Chicago. And you hear teams like, the Miami Heat, they're trying to go after everyone from Giannis. If AD decides that he wants to go ahead and be a free agent, they may go after AD. The Lakers right now would probably have to worry about what is the future going to look like with Anthony Davis. LeBron James, yeah, he's in year 17. He's been phenomenal. However, he may have 2 more years. I just don't know if he can sustain this for, let's say, 2-3 more years. So do you think further down the line and say we got to start thinking trades, trying to get another marquee free agent, or trade for a marquee guy like a Bradley Beal, or try to get a steady piece? Maybe not a Zach LaVine. I wouldn't want him on my team. That's just me. I don't think that all points are created equal. But
the man can fly, though.
Man can fly. I don't need flyers. We need championship pieces. That's what the Lakers need.
Okay, I respect it.
I just don't know. I think LeBron James, I think he's found his second wind, but that wind is only, man, it's a couple more breaths going to that buffet line before, he says, check please, and he got to go out the back door. So if the Lakers want to stay in contention, and if the Lakers want to stay the team that they've been, you do got to think the future. But as of right now, I think I got to think of right now. And right now, I think the Lakers are in prime position to win an NBA title. So I would worry about that right now, but not too far in the rear view is thinking about the future. And Anthony Davis, with the game he had tonight, you want to keep this guy on your roster. He's one of the 5 best players in the whole league.
Yeah. Man, I will say, to end on this note, man, it was a great night for basketball.
Definitely.
I'm not gonna, it's been way too long, man. We needed sports in some way. I've always been a proponent, if you're going to do it, it needs to be safe. So I wasn't a fan of how most of the other leagues did it, but, I'm glad I got the WNBA back this last weekend. That was great basketball. Shout out to Sabrina Ionescu. She's going to be a beast, man.
Baller 28-7-7.
And then, now we got the NBA back, which is always nice to see. These playoffs might be the most exciting playoffs we've seen maybe in my lifetime, with the way everything went.
Could be, definitely. It's just it's gonna, hopefully we're just able to get the rust off of these guys, man. We want to see everybody at their best. You know, the sloppy play was kind of expected, but
Of
I know we
course.
don't want this for the rest of the 8 games, and we definitely don't want to see this for a playoff. So hopefully, the star guys and the key guys, all play. Everybody got 4 months off. Everybody should be well rested. Everybody's injuries should be, taken care of. So, let's just see. Let's get back to basketball, man. Let's just roll the ball out and play, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hoop.
Right there. That's all I'm saying.
All right, man. Bro, I just got to say, it's a pleasure being able to host this with you, RJ. I'm glad that we're able to get this going. Thanks to the Ball Out for giving us this opportunity. We're looking forward to sharing this with y'all as often as we possibly can. We definitely keep you up on all things basketball related. So keep an eye for this coming out real soon. And we will see you when we see you.
And much love. Peace out, guys.